Hello and a very warm welcome to this special as we preview day 3 of the second test that is going on at the Wanderers in Johannesburg between South Africa and India. And if day 1 belonged to the South African fast bowlers, day 2 was all about Lord Shardul Thakur. That's right, Shardul Thakur took 7 for 61 to bundle South Africa out for 229. They had a lead of 27 runs. But what was good to watch was that as India ended the day on 85 for 2, it was Ajinkya, Rahane and Cheteswar Pujara who were at the crease. But the difference was that they looked confident, they looked assertive. We saw some wonderful drives from both Pujara and from Ajinkya Rahane. So what is day 3 going to be like? Let's discuss with my colleagues. Abhishek Paul joins me as well as Atish Jain. Let's begin with Abhishek. A huge day, and you can expect, today being the most important day in this test match, Abhishek. The good thing is that from what we saw, the way Ajinkya Rahane and Pujara batting, they looked good. Pujara showed the intent, something that he's been questioned about in the past. Both their careers on the line at the moment, they need to make amends, and this is the best opportunity.
Right. It was surprising to see Pujara, going for the drives in the last hour of the day. He scored 35 of 42. He has hit 7 boundaries so far. He's batting at a strike rate of 83.33, so which is really marvelous going by Pujara standards. And the reason that India are leading, India has a bright chance of taking an upper hand is because Pujara's intent. And it's a huge day for India, and it's a huge day for both the batters, right? Both have been off form. Pujara last scored a century in 2019. Rahane last scored a century in 2020. If they can rescue India today, take them at least, if both of them can at least survive the first session, then nothing like it. India would need to at least put on a target of at least to 250, 260, to give the bowlers that much space, to attack, to go for the attack and go for the win.
That's right. Yes, India will need to put up at least 250 plus for the bowlers to have a chance of attacking the South African batsmen. But Atish, when we talk about Cheteswar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane, so much has been, written about them in the recent times, about their inconsistency, about how they've not been among the runs. They've somehow managed to be part of those winning sides, but how much have they contributed, and have they contributed with a big score? And that's where the question is, right? Even with an Ajinkya Rahane, you get 100 in Australia, you win that series, you win that test match, but what have you done before that? What have you done after that? The similar thing is for Cheteswar Pujara as well. So like I asked Abhishek as well, this is a perfect opportunity. And, like they always say, you're one good knock away from a big score. Maybe this is it for the two of them. At least the Indians would be hoping that.
Well, most definitely so, Meha, because this is the kind of opportunity I think Cheteswar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane should relish considering how poorly they have batted so far in the last couple of years. And you rightly talked about intent. 35 runs in 42 deliveries with the help of 7 boundaries only goes to show that Cheteswar Pujara knows that now is the time for him to score runs with so many youngsters breathing down Rahane and Cheteswar Pujara's neck. So now with day 3 often termed as the moving day and test match which hangs by the sword, I think India banks heavily on these two seasoned campaigners. And talking solely about Cheteswar Pujara, Mia, I have an interesting number for you. Since the England series last year, Pujara averages under 6 in first innings of a test match, but the numbers change drastically when it comes to the second innings, where he averages a staggering 54. So it goes to show when he is under pressure, he often brings his A game to the table, and today is once again an opportunity for him. And India also banks heavily on someone like Cheteswar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane in the absence of Virat Kohli to put a sizable total on the board and give Proteas a target which they might not be able to chase, considering how tricky the pitch is also playing. If one wicket falls, then there's a plethora of wickets that come along with it. So as Abhishek also mentioned, India needs Pujara and Rahane to at least bat the opening first hour, if not the complete session. And if they do so, I think India will be somewhere around 150 or 170 run lead by the end of the opening session, which is exactly the kind of position they want to be in, considering they have someone like Rishabh Pant who can just come in and play a strong cameo at the end.
Yeah, that's true. You're talking about wickets and wickets falling in a heap. Well, someone from India did that yesterday, and there was Shardul Thakur. Of course, the memes followed, as we've seen. Abhishek happens so often with Shardul Thakur because he's done this. The last 12 months, Shardul Thakur has gone from being a net bowler to scoring a half century and getting 7 wickets at the Gabba, to now becoming the only Indian to get 7 wickets here in South Africa. I mean, that's the kind of career graph that you're looking at when you see Shardul Thakur, right? Even yesterday, just the way he bowled, it's not that your top bowlers were bowling badly. It's not that the edges weren't flying off Dean Elgar's bat when Jasprit Bumrah and Shami were bowling. But when Shardul Thakur came in, I don't know whether it was luck. It's an enigma that all of us will keep talking about in times to come. But everything changed. And then one followed the next wicket. And before you knew, South Africa, who were looking good at one point, only managed to get a lead of 27 runs. So brilliant stuff again from Shardul.
Right. I mean, before this interaction, I was talking to Dinesh Lad, his childhood coach, whom Shardul mentioned as his second parent, because of the way his impact, how his impact has been on his cricket career. So he mentioned a couple of important things. Firstly, obviously, he mentioned that luck factor. He accepted that, yes, there was a bit of luck involved because, Bumrah and Shami both were getting those movements. But then it was Shardul who got the breakthroughs and not one. He broke 2 50-run stands, and he was such a brilliant yesterday. And he said one thing, that he was making the batters play the ball. Generally against Shami or Bumrah, the tendency, the defensive tendency of the South African batters were to leave the ball, whereas against Shardul Thakur, they were playing the ball, and that's why they were edging the ball. Along with it, Shardul mentioned a very important point, because he is not maybe as skillful as a Bumrah or a Shami, but he's smart, and he was targeting those cracks. As the day will go and as the test match will progress, those cracks will even more open up. But Shardul was targeting those cracks, and he was getting those extra movement of the seam, and all hail Lord Shardul.
All hail. He was lording over the Wanderers. But that's how wonderful this bowling attack is, Tisha, isn't that so? I mean, he's your third change bowler. And you realize how good this attack is when you see that at the Wanderers, in the second innings, you needed Shardul Thakur for all of 5 overs. But here, KL Rahul tried Mohammad Shami and Jasprit Bumrah, of course, tried to get them to take wickets. Wasn't happening. Brought in Siraj, who already had a hamstring injury. So, went for some runs. Ashwin was brought in as your second change, and then came Shardul Thakur as the third change. A lot of people were saying, why isn't Shardul Thakur already been brought in? But just look at how wonderful this attack is, that you have a Shardul Thakur come in and do this when your top bowlers are not able to get the wickets. I mean, what does one say about this team? Absolutely incredible.
Well, definitely, Meha, you can't just talk enough about the Indian pace attack. Especially, I think this current Indian pace attack is right up there with the best the country has ever produced. And as you rightly spoken about Shardul Thakur, he's just doing what he's supposed to do, and he's doing it with a great level of professionalism, which is a beautiful thing to watch from just an outside, just a fan of the game. Because when you have someone like Shami and Bumrah, they create all the pressure. And Shardul Thakur being the third pressure, he can just come in and bowl his heart out. And 7 wickets just goes to show how much work he has put into his craft. And also he has this uncanny ability to break partnerships. If you look at his career graph, when he has picked up 23 test wickets, 17 of his wickets have been of specialist batsmen. And he has dismissed 12 batsmen who have faced at least 50 or more deliveries. So that goes to show that he's not one to shy away from the occasions, and he always rises up to the occasion and always delivers whenever his number is called. And also when you look at his record in Sena countries, since the time, I'll take the record from the last year, I think only Jasprit Bumrah has taken more wicket in Sena countries than Shardul Thakur in the first 10 innings of an Indian pacer. So that goes to, Bumrah has 25 and Shardul Thakur has 23. So again, once again, a wonderful performance, and that 7 wickets he thoroughly deserved because the kind of effort he put in with the ball.
Okay, now what does India need to do to win this test match? What are the chases like? What has happened in the past on this ground? Let's also take a look at that graphic, and we'll get back to Abhishek and Atish as to how much has South Africa chased on this ground, and those numbers are going to come up on your screens in a moment from now. But from the way we see it, Abhishek and Atish, that
right.
you know that in fact India versus South Africa, Proteus in the fourth inning chases. Take a look at that. Target 356. South Africa were bowled out for 228. Then you look at in 2006 at the same ground, 278 all out. Target was 402. 405 at one point at the Wanderers. Yes, that was also a target that was set by India. 458. South Africa ended up going to 405. But in the end, India in that wonderful victory. In 2018, again, 177 all out. South Africa were bundled out for that. A great win for India in 2018. And I think both Abhishek and Atish will remember that. But like we were talking about, what is a good total to set here? Abhishek, what do you think? I mean, you do have, a pitch which is kind of got an uneven bounce. What do you think is a good enough, is a safe total for India?
I think safe total would be over 300. You know, if they give a target of over 300, I think it will be a safe total. But I think anything beyond 250 can also work because this pitch is deteriorating, you know. And I was going to the stat books, and of the 40 odd test matches that were played in Johannesburg Wanderers, 20 were won by team batting first, which goes on to show how the fourth innings pitch is really challenging for the batters, and it will be the same again. Yesterday also, as Shardul correctly mentioned, he was getting those movements of the cracks. Mind you, this is the third innings. India is batting in the third innings, and fourth innings, those cracks on the fourth day, or maybe at the end of this day, it will even more open up. So I think at least they should give a target of more than 250, more above 300. India are clear favorites.
In fact, that's the graphic up on your screens as well. 42 test matches where batting first, the team has won 20 times. So clearly, that stat favors India, Atish.
Right.
But important, like we've talked about it, and we can't, we can't insist more on how important this is for both Ajinkya Rahane and for Cheteswar Pujara to hold fort at least the first session. I mean, that is so crucial right now for India. Just make sure not to lose these wickets.
Well, definitely it is very important for India to maintain a significant run rate also, and also for Pujara and Rahane to ensure that they don't give their wickets away cheaply, which they have been guilty of doing so on far too many occasions in the last 1 or 2 years. And also we shouldn't forget that this is only the third day of the test match, so there's still a lot of time remaining in the game. Yeah. So India will have no bother about being a fourth day or a fifth day, because it's just the third day of the test match.
Exactly.
So they can just bat out the entire day, even a first opening session tomorrow, and then get a crack at a South African batting lineup, which looks inexperienced. And we have seen if one wicket falls, then there is a flurry of wickets, and Indian pace attack is so lethal that they will count on anything. A target of above 250, I think, shall do the trick for India, considering how many tricks this pitch is playing at the moment.
That's right. Thank you so much, Atish, as well as Abhishek. So that's it from us. Yes, India on an important day, on day three, as Atish also said, this is the moving day of the test match, and a lot can happen today. And in fact, I think we're looking at a result by tomorrow. But Atish and Abhishek, thank you so much for joining. Well, that's it that we have for you on this special. Do join us for all the latest from the world of sports on News 9 Digital. We'll also get you all the updates from this test match that is going on at the Wanderers. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching and stay safe.